Hello everyone. My name is Abhijit Patil, and I am probably the last man standing between you and happy hours. We'll make it quick a little bit. Yeah. I am going to talk about our journey transforming our contact center. We'll try to get into what were the challenges we were facing, how did we go about finding a new solution, and the success that we've seen with the new solution, which is of course Omilia. Right. So Nissan, of course, everyone is familiar with Nissan Infiniti. We make cars, but I specifically am going to talk about Nissan Motor Acceptance Company, which is the finance arm of the company. So we do car loans, leases, commercial financing for customers, dealers, so on and so forth. That also happens to be the larger of the contact centers because, of course, we have people making monthly payments, a large customer base, and so forth. So we get about 5 million calls annually. And so what were the challenges that we were facing, right? The main one being complexity upon complexity upon complexity. I mean, we had a entrenched legacy solution that was, the traditional, rigid, kind of directed dialogue solution that customers were, you had to navigate a maze of menu options to get to what you needed to get to. We did not have good analytics. We had trouble even finding, how we're doing in certain cases. We had troubles, finding our KPIs. We couldn't identify trends, like how do we fix a problem if we don't know we have specific problems in certain areas, right? So analytics was a big problem. Access to data, access to meaningful data, right? Presented in a way that decision makers could understand. We had legacy architecture, and not just in our contact center, but just, over the years, the contact center itself and everything that surrounds the contact center, everything upstream, downstream, our contract systems, our CRM systems, and so forth. So we had like a legacy system trying to talk to other legacy systems. So just complexity upon complexity, right? Of course, all of this leading up to, poor call containment rates, poor customer experience, customers not really wanting to spend any time in the system itself, like trying to navigate the menus, options, and just agent, right? That was our problem primarily. And of course, the complexity, any changes, big or small, would require time and money. And that just started compounding over a period of time. So we, of course, this was probably about a couple of years ago when, it was decided that, okay, we need to move to something better. And, we tried to come up with certain set of guidelines for ourselves on what do we need out of a new solution, a new system, right? We started big, like our very broad mandate, so to speak, or very broad kind of success criteria was from a perspective of a customer, right? Like the new solution should know who I am. By the virtue of knowing who I am, it should, provide me with the right set of information as quickly as possible. And wherever possible, the new solution should proactively provide me with information, right? So all that kind of leading up to a better customer experience, better call containment, and so forth. And we kind of further drilled down as we started looking at all the different solutions out there. What is it that we truly want out of the new system? So when all is said and done, what do we want to have achieved out of this, right? So we, of course, wanted to modernize our, old tech stack, our legacy solutions, wanted whatever is the latest and greatest out there. We, of course, wanted to focus on call containment. Maybe not entirely eliminate. I mean, you can never entirely eliminate, but at least reduce to the extent possible the calls that get transferred to agents. We also wanted to see how we could deflect calls, right? So to other low-cost channels. So how do we kind of make sure that our website provides all the same functionality or better functionality, so people try to make that their first experience if they do end up talking to us, is there a way we can still deflect them, right? Hey, instead of having them transfer to an agent, is there a way we can say, okay, what if we send you to an SMS texting option or email option or so forth, right? Data was really important to us. Of course, after a period of not having access to data and kind of really hampering the decision-making process, like sometimes our day-to-day activities, we wanted to make sure that we have access to good analytics out of the box, good, some real-time feedback, maybe on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, and so forth. And we wanted the new solution to fit in to the new landscape that we were envisioning, right? So it wasn't just the contact center that we were trying to modernize. We were actively working on modernizing our entire landscape, right? So our core systems, our contract management systems, our CRM systems, our BI, and so on and so forth, right? So we wanted our new contact center to fit in nicely in that space and to play nice with everyone involved, right? And we wanted a regional solution, a solution that we could actually scale. So we are NMAC here in the USA, but we look at our quote-unquote lending space or our sales finance space as a regional entity. So we are here in America, in the US. We have NCF in Canada, NRFM in Mexico. So we wanted a solution that we could scale, we could extend, to all these other regions, right? If we get a good experience out of it, we wanted to make sure that we architect it in such a way and we build it in such a way that we could kind of make it a regional solution and not just, share some of the love, basically, with everyone else. And just building on that, right, there were specific things we wanted from the technology itself, right? The first thing, of course, was we knew we wanted to have it be a more conversational experience for our customers. So we wanted to make sure that we get the best-in-class solution that has a good conversational engine that provides a more natural experience to our callers, right? We wanted to make sure, I already mentioned our overall architecture, but we also wanted to make sure we're not only thinking of our customers, but of our agents as well, right? So we wanted a solution that could play nice with our rest of the contact center suite. So our CRM systems, our CTI, so on and so forth, right? So if and when the call gets over to an agent, all the relevant information gets moved over. The agents also know where to pick up the conversation. So we wanted to make sure that's one of our key criteria, right? And I've mentioned reporting and analytics multiple times, but that was a key factor for us. So we kind of started looking at multiple solutions. Like I said, this was about almost 2 years ago, maybe a little over 2 years. But after a lot of evaluation, we looked at a few different players in the space, solutions like AWS, like Core AI, Omilia, of course. And we found that in a lot of cases, either the solutions were not mature enough, or they did not provide a good conversational engine or good conversational experience, or they didn't really provide a true platform. Essentially means a lot of development, a lot of coding, a lot of maintenance, a lot of keeping up, and it's something that once we have it in, we live with it, right? Like it's for us to kind of bear the cost of this or kind of maintain it for 5, 10, 15 years, whatever the enterprise's or appetite is. But so we wanted something that is future-proof, that doesn't add to the already, what we had experienced in terms of maintenance overheads, coding overheads, deployment overheads, and so forth. So Omilia checked most of the boxes for us. So, we looked at the Gartner quadrant, of course, for the conversational AI competence or the conversational competence. Omilia was on top. We really wanted something that we could considered to be as much future-proof as you can be in technology. But there were some use cases that we knew we might not deploy on day one, but we wanted to make sure we have those in our toolkit, right? So things like voice biometrics and so forth, right? Also, some of the same things I mentioned in the previous slides, which is, something that plays nice with the rest of our ecosystem, something that enables our agents, to do their activities better, that kind of helps customers like contain or get to what they need to faster. So, and we also spoke with, some of the other clients, referrals. I mean, that helped a lot as well, looking at the other successful implementations, especially in the finance sector. NMAC is an auto finance company. It comes with certain set of, regulatory needs, authentication complexities, and so forth. So it was helpful talking to other clients. I think some of them might be in the room as well. But that's how we landed with Omilia. I think it was about a year and a half ago or so when we actually said, okay, let's kind of sign the dotted line and let's get on with it. Let's start building. Let's see what we can do here, right? So what did we implement finally, right? It's been almost a year and a half. I guess I should mention that, or I already did, which is, we weren't just modernizing our contact center. We were modernizing and changing our entire landscape. So all our core systems, our contract management systems, CRM systems, so forth. So the result of it was we were and still are living in like with parallel universes. We have one universe here that is our legacy tech stack. We have another universe here, which is our new tech stack, and both have, a set of customers that we need to service. So first and foremost, we wanted to make sure that when we build out the new contact center, we don't add to the, parallel universe chaos. We wanted just one set of solution that could talk to any universe, no matter where the customer lives, no matter where the data is coming from. We wanted to make sure that the experience is as similar as possible, as seamless as possible. If there is handoffs needed between these universes, any time travel needed, we wanted to make sure we can account for some of these eventualities, right? So, so we came up, with Omilia's help and with our implementation partner, ConvergeOne's help, we came up with like an implementation approach that is more phased, more agile, where we could show quick wins, we could kind of demonstrate that we are making progress, but not only that, but also, know for ourselves if we are moving in the right direction, if we are making the right decisions, if we need to pivot, if we need to make changes. So it was a fairly complex implementation. It took a while, but it's been greatly successful. So like I said, multiple integrations, these whole parallel universe thing. We of course deployed in English and Spanish both. We also integrated with other channels, right? So we could actually, if a customer calls in, there are use cases where we could send them over to an SMS experience, right? Hey, we could easily solve this with an SMS. Why do you need to talk to someone? And we're seeing some success there as well. We are at a point right now. So I think we did our final deployment in this big round of let's make sure we are 100% on Omilia about 3 months ago or so. And we are seeing some great success. I think I covered some of this. But right out of the gate, after we did our first deployment, we saw our call containment rates, which were really low at around 25%, go to about 55%. So that told us that we were actually moving in the right direction, that our customers are actually engaging with the solution in the way we think they need to engage. There are, of course, always room for improvement, but this was a really good sign for us that, we are moving in the right direction. We got a lot of good advice and recommendations along the way from Omilia. So one of the things I think we really appreciated was the kind of customer experience aspect of it. Like, how do we make sure that whatever we are building is beneficial, not just to us as the company in terms of, let's kind of make sure a call doesn't get to an agent, but more importantly, how do we make sure that let's make it as easy as possible for the customers to kind of just get to what they need to within the solution, within the system, so that they can, end the call as quickly as possible. So we saw some great results right out of the gate. I think the next couple of slides is just showing like the access to data that we have right now and the trends that we are seeing, right? So like I said, we are seeing our transfers to agents drop quite a bit. We are seeing calls terminating within the IVR itself. We are a finance company, of course, so a lot of our calls are in the kind of payment space. So we get a lot of phone calls. I want to make a payment. What's wrong with my payment? And so on and so forth. So, but this does allow us to kind of drill down a lot into trying to figure out what are the areas we need to focus on. Where do we need to kind of spend our energy in kind of trying to resolve, try to automate, try to provide more self-service, maybe some small tweaks here and there, right? And I'll get to those tweaks in a second. But we've been live for about 4 months, 3 months now, 4 months, whatever it is, and we've had a lot of good feedback. So us as a lot of the folks in the room probably are from the IT or IS side of the house, and then there's the operation side, and we are hearing a lot of good feedback from the operation side as well, right? So the operations manager, the leadership, the decision makers actually are actively engaging with the dashboard. They're in there almost every day. They're trying to look for trends, assess trends. They're trying to see what's working, what's not working. They're actually able to ask the right questions now. Whereas we had a problem where in the past where we did not even know where to start or what questions to ask, right? So, but now we're getting some great feedback based on what we are seeing. And, it's been a good experience from the frontline agents as well, like in terms of the handoff between our IVA solution and when the call gets transferred and so forth. We are continuing evolving. We have done all this great work so far, and it's easy to declare victory, but in some ways this is just the start for us. So we continue to partner with Omilia. In fact, we got like a full robust set of recommendations. We let like 3 months pass, and we got a document that is 80 pages long, each one of them with like very specific set of recommendations that, hey, if you tweak this here, you might see, 0.25% improvement in this area, and if you tweak there. So we are actively looking into it. We are actually going to put some of it in action right now as we speak. So yeah, the partnership continues. These are just some of the examples. I mean, it's a long document. I won't go into any details. It's too much. But thank you so much. And it's been great. I think we've seen a lot of new tools. So in addition to all the kind of recommendations we got, we have some new tools to play with as well.